We got one coming in here for Yomi from Dallas. Says, "Dear Castle Cowards, I've been working on putting together a project about imposter syndrome because I feel it quite a bit, and I want to know if it's a normal thing.
Yep.
No matter how often someone praises me for something I did, if I want to downplay it to the point of just saying I'm terrible or mediocre at best. So I want to ask if you guys have any moments where you feel like imposters."
Humility is an incredibly important value that is too often, exacerbated to the point of self-deprecation that is harmful. Imposter syndrome is so fucking common in this business. Everybody get it. Like, the one that always gets me is I do like, ha ha ha, I did a stream, ha 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 ha, and then I see like fucking incredible painting of like me and Paige and the cat and in some amazing thing, and I'm like, that's a real talented person. That's a real skill.
Yeah, I don't know a single facet of my life that I'm like putting time into where I don't feel imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
The answer is 100% of the things I do.
I think social media did it.
It didn't used to be everything, but then that became a part of it, possibly. I think like when you go into something like fighting games, for example, you're gonna get humbled real quick on that.
Or you'll be miserable,
right? And then and any other thing that you give your time into, where you're like, look how much further other people can be in this, and like obviously comparison is the theft of joy. We all know this, but
ooh, I've never heard that.
Oh yeah, live by that.
Oh, I like that.
Live by that.
Is that the companion piece to imitation is the sincerest form of flattery?
It might be, but I much prefer.
Oh,
comparison is the theft of joy.
That's good. I like that.
And as someone who like what we do, right, and just being out there and being subjected to as much positive and negative feedback as you can handle on a given basis, you are forced, like I said, I used to speak with more confidence in general, right, before. Now I speak with no confidence because I'm always questioning how wrong I am about something.
I've had
ready for the call out.
I have the complete reverse thing happen to me.
Yeah.
I used to speak with no confidence, and I think you even remember me being like that.
Mm-hmm.
And now I have to speak with confidence, because if I don't speak with confidence, I won't speak at all.
Yeah. And as someone who wants to generally try to not be wrong about things if I can avoid it by learning, the call out, as I'm someone who like is constantly trying to think about how to fix a thing, is going to be like, oh fuck, you're always wrong. Everything you've ever said is going to have someone say you're wrong about it.
Shitpost posted another screenshot of me holding the book.
Right, and then it took it took a couple years before I think any of us realized that the person calling out authoritatively might also be wrong. Right, wasn't aware of that. We weren't even streaming.
No.
Right.
We were just doing the LPs.
Right, and then like moments when a stream thing happens and someone throws it out there, and then it gets like shown to be like, no, that was bad advice.
One guy is so wrong.
One guy. Yeah, but so sure, right? But there's times when it's not that. There's times when it's the many, and even in the times when it's the many, and you're like, okay, this is a problem with the way I'm approaching this. It's impossible to not feel imposter syndrome, especially like.
Oh, in this business, there's always somebody that's kind of like you, but is way more successful than you are, right off the bat.
The number one, there's a couple of the old version of things would be when it's the walk home after the first session of a new LP that feels good.
Yeah.
And you're like, that game was fun.
That was good.
Had a good session.
Nailed it.
A lot of fun jokes.
Crushing it.
Can't wait.
Oh,
and part one makes
goes
you
up,
feel
and you're like
shit.
Eh.
And
unfortunately, the reverse does not happen. When you go, oh my God, that session was terrible, and it goes up and it's great, you don't feel like, oh wow, and everything worked out great. You go, oh, well that's lucky. Whew.
Yeah. But when it just comes down to you're not learning the game as fast as I guess everyone else did, or something else.
Yeah.
maybe it's just your first session was shorter than theirs was. Whatever the factors are that led you to not draw the same conclusions.
I can think of a couple that I just like you just reminded me of, and I went,
It makes you paranoid about everything, and it makes you second guess stuff, and it makes you super feel imposter syndrome. And I also feel it, like, not even when it comes to gameplay, but in the context of, like, streaming the Game Awards, right?
Yeah.
Like, there's a bunch of AAA American companies that I don't overlap interests with.
Yeah.
So I have nothing to say
just
about
do it.
them.
No. Just shit all over them.
And
Just be negative.
And
everybody likes it.
But it's also like different groups of people show up for different purposes,
Yeah.
right? If you wanted me to talk about Bethesda, I have nothing to say.
Well, I mean, honestly, at this point, that exact emotion and statement that you just put out is a completely understandable and viable emotion.
But that's just a company that's way over there. But it's always been over there.
Yeah.
It's not even they used to be here and now it's over. No, that was never overlapping. I have nothing to talk about with that, right? Or a bunch of like stuff that you go super hard into with companies that are like there's stuff that you guys used to be able to talk about with certain like God, I'm trying to think of one. Like, what's a big American AAA company that puts out a lot of shit that's very important that I've never even said their names casually once?
I mean, you said Bethesda. That would probably be the number one.
That'd be the biggest one.
I think the one in reverse was when I came into the podcast a couple years ago and was playing Witcher 3 and looked at a fucking row of blank faces as I was playing what was at the time the most popular game released the entire year.
Sure.
And that's the reverse of that. It's
Sure.
like
But it's
Rockstar.
I was about to say Rockstar. I looked at my shelf.
I'm playing Red Dead right now.
I looked at my shelf and I saw Red Dead, and I was about to say Rockstar, right? Like, yeah, perfect example. I haven't touched any Rockstar things since the first GTA 3 and then the first two early GTA games, right?
Like the first two, or you mean like San Andreas and Vice?
No. Grand Theft Auto.
Oh, like the
1 and
top-down
2.
shit?
Yes.
These games are kind of bad.
Yeah, and then and I played the first GTA 3.
Yeah.
And then I didn't bother with the stuff after that, right? Naughty Dog is a
I
right, but I like Last of Us.
Yeah.
But whatever, so I'm just saying, like there's a part of this that like there's a part of this where
the chat feels like they're the shelf, because when you look over at the shelf, you're actually looking at your camera as well.
Oh, well, I don't know.
Look into them.
Now I'm looking. That's different.
Look into them. They
Okay.
are. Oh,
But the point though is kind of like that if I'm if there's a big part of that like everyone's familiar with because you guys talked about it, for example, and if anyone happens to be following along with the stuff I'm going into, but I don't have that,
yeah.
I have nothing to offer in this empty space to talk about a Rockstar announcement,
Yeah.
because I have no fucking clue.
I do know what that feeling is like, and
So
that
that's
feeling is like
massive
when I'm
imposter
watching
syndrome.
the Nintendo Direct and the final thing they show off is Animal Crossing, and
Sure.
everybody get big mad. Oh, I still don't get that shit.
Yeah,
don't get
I
it.
just like it's like for better and for worse, I have a fucking lane, and
You have a lane. You'll play. You fuck it.
oh Jesus Christ.
You playing top? You getting fed? You getting big feed?
So yeah, that's it, man. I just feel out of my element so often in especially something like the VGAs,
The VGAs.
or like an
Well,
E3
I don't
show
think many people
where
are gonna
someone walks out on the stage and talks for 20 minutes about like fucking Dead by Daylight.
That's a good game.
I know, I hear it's good. I don't care.
Why don't you play a card game in the bottom right? Play Teppen on the screen.
Yeah, but like, you know what I mean? It's like I wish I had something to say here, but I don't.
Just do this meltdown shit right on
just
that. Just do
me.
it. Yeah, just do that.
I'm just me.
Just start slapping your tummy and going.
I can't not be me.
Yeah, you can. It's real easy.
So that's it. That's all. And it's a whole lot of those. And then here's the one like random niche Japanese dev walking up that I'm like, oh, it's that cool thing. I got feelings and stuff.
And
to
then
say
a
about
cane
that.
pushes him off the screen before he can talk.
You know,
Are you all right, Woolie? This question seems to put you on the verge of a fucking meltdown.
I'm really, really full of imposter syndrome in every aspect of my life,
Wow. Okay.
including the biggest main one.
Okay.
And it applies on a day-to-day basis.
Well, I mean, I have had my own struggles with this, and my best advice to you would be both to you and to you, writer at home. Was it Yomi? Yomi writing in from Chicago, you said?
Whatever.
And those of you in the chat, the best thing that I could tell you is to just start lying.
Yeah.
Just lie to yourself.
Yeah. Right.
That's what positive thinking really is.
Play other shit for once, Woolie. I'm in the process of trying.
Fucking positive thinking
I'm super trying.
is just self-deceit.
And the games that are here that are happening are like, I mean, for one, like Naruto's highly requested and lots of, but like, and is going through that whole funny thing of before, but like Indivisible and Death Stranding are very highly anticipated games that I've definitely excited for to drop, and they're new, and I'm like, I definitely want to know what happens in these games.
Relax, you're arguing with the chat.
I know, but I'm just saying that the slate of games to get to that is not based on like something new that's about to drop is filled with shit that's out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Filled, right? If I wasn't in the middle of really long ongoing games right now,
Death Stranding is long as fuck.
if I wasn't in the middle of those games right now, I'd be doing a ton of games that are way not what I'm used to because I'm super down to try new shit and explore. And like one of the feedback complaints about like me sticking to my niche with terms of like getting feedback recently and stuff was like, but I've been really trying to not do that. Like in some cases reaching out into games where I'm like, I never would have taken a look at this otherwise.
So you got a example that jumps out right now?
Yeah, like, I want to cycle back. I'll kill the fucking hype of it if it was going to be. But I 100% want to do, as soon as, like, one of these is done, I want to get it so that the channel is not in a...
Oh, no, I meant thing that you had already done. I did not mean to blow open any particular announcement.
Oh, because there's a bunch of non-Woolie games that I'm like, yeah, I'm totally down to jump into this. I never would have otherwise. But sorry, what did you mean?
I meant, no, because you said like a bunch of games. I misunderstood what you said. I thought you meant that there had been a bunch of games you had done recently that were out of your wheelhouse. But you meant upcoming.
Upcoming, certainly. Stuff that I have done, like when I picked up something that is like,
well, he's announcing a Dragon's Dogma LP right now.
No, but that's like, but the length of that was certainly part of the question. But that's the kind of thing where I'm like, yeah, that's an unexpected bit, and like, who knows where that might go. I definitely consider that. But like, yeah, the wheelhouse thing is really actually, like, I mean, fucking RE2 was not something that would go on my list.
Yeah, that game was comfortably outside.
Looking at A Plague's Tale, looking at Outer Wilds, looking at all
Plague's
that.
Tale's so good.
You know what I mean? Looking at a bunch of these things is just not super on the thing. And like there continues to be those choices, but if there's something that comes along that like takes an obvious precedence based on like what it is, the history I have with it, and its like priority impact, like Astral Chain, Indivisible, or Death Stranding, you know what I mean? Like these are big games associated with the shit that I care about the most. It's like those things are gonna take these slots, but given the choice, I would be trying to expand a bunch, I guess. So yeah, as soon as the first opportunity allows me to, I definitely do want to like sort of,
all right,
do the play new shit Woolie.
Not to kneecap you here, buddy.
Sorry.
But the initial context of the thing, do you guys ever get imposter syndrome?
All the
Is that
time.
normal?
All the time.
Yeah, totally.
All the time.
It's super normal. Particularly in lines of work that the average person still considers to be not real jobs. And I'm going to cycle that around to anyone that's ever been touched on by the For Exposure Twitter account. Musicians, artists, whatever this is, right? My dad worked in a factory. And he fucking worked 8 hours a day in a factory, and he came home and he was tired. And it was an incredibly clear identity as to he was a working man, right? Me? I'm sitting in front of a camera talking about video games. Do I even have a real job? I don't know. Thanks for the question.
The hope, of course, in going into new things is that you're going to be able to care about them enough to be passionate about them.
Yeah, it's like creepy sex shit.
Otherwise, if you're not, then it's just a waste of everyone's time.
It's like when you see
you shouldn't have tried.
It's like when you see Julia's disgusted face, and you're like, oh, something just blossomed in my heart.
Yeah.
Let's explore this.